Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in on this one. This one's an interesting one because a lot of times we have issues with email, right? And to begin to troubleshoot issues with email, you have to take a step back and understand a very high level, basic way that email flows and works. And I am no expert, I'm learning as well, but I do know a couple of components of the email system that might help you troubleshoot some issues. So this video is going to be about the basic overview of how email flows. And then we'll do another one where we show you, or I show you a Linux command to find some information. So let's start with this overview. If you look at my diagram here, this is not necessarily a title here, okay? But the one thing you have to understand is the basic setup of email, right? You have a sender and they're on a computer. I hope you like my little sender guy here that I created with shapes. But this sender is using a computer or a client, right? And this person wants to send an email to this receiver or end user or client, right? You're going to see these names interchangeably, like end user, client, whatever. This is basically the person on their actual computer, okay? When you're sending an email, you're using like Outlook, if you're at work maybe, or Gmail or something to that effect. Okay, that's kind of like your user interface, your client, if you will, to send an email. But your email is not actually leaving from your computer, like your laptop. That is leaving from the mail server of that client you're using, right? Another term for this mail server you'll hear is SMTP server as well. And we'll get to this in a second. But so you type in an email, George at you are George at gmail.com, and you're sending to Bob at gmail.com over here, or Yahoo, or whatever. When you type that information in, it hits the server. Now the server has to serve your request, right? Like, what does it do now? So it first of all uses a protocol or a set of rules called SMTP, which stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It's a bunch of rules that help get your information over the internet, right? For email specifically. So SMTP. Well, it hits your server. Your server needs to know where it's going. It needs to access DNS or domain name system and get the information for Bob at yahoo.com, say. This information is kept in a record in DNS called the MX record, okay? And the MX record, so essentially when you're sending an email from an email application or the server right here, the server is going to check this DNS and it's going to check the MX record and get the IP server information, which would be this over here. It needs to get that to know how to get there. If I'm coming to your address, coming to your house, you have to give me your address. I can't just start driving aimlessly. I'll never get there. So that's what the MX record serves, which is a part of DNS, right? So this DNS system, domain name system server, offers up the MX record, and that MX record contains IP and server information for this mail server. It says, yeah, it's yahoo.com. So once this SMTP or mail server has that information, it can package it up, and then it can continue using SMTP protocol to send this information over the internet. The internet knows to route this to the mail server. So now the mail server here, like let's say it's yahoo.com, that domain, has the information that this sender way over here sent initially. Now, this person here, it doesn't just magically go to their laptop, right? This email that the sender sent is in this mail server. It's just hanging out there. The end user has to use protocols to retrieve that information that SMTP brought over to it. So SMTP was the vehicle in which your message got to the mail server. The MX record was the map, essentially, or the address to get there. You're here. You're parked. Now, another set of protocols called IMAP and POP3 are used to retrieve it. So those protocols go in there, grab that message, and bring it to your receiver, aka end user, aka client, and they can read it. So I hope that all made sense. It can be confusing and it can get much more detailed than this, but this is the high level basic overview of how a sender sends an email from one place to another. If you have any questions about this basic overview, let me know in the comments. In the next video, I'll discuss how we can see what the MX record is. I think that's pretty interesting. And then we'll dive a little deeper into some other components of this. So I hope that helps you. Again, if you have some questions about this wonderful diagram, let me know. Have a great day.